This is the moment a bus fell through a large crater that had formed in a road in northern Brazil. The bus can be seen dropping into the crater and being suddenly carried away by rushing floodwater on Monday. The passengers of the bus travelling on the road had a lucky escape, managing to get off the doomed bus before it was swallowed up by the massive hole.
A rare 2.9 earthquake in the Chicago area.
The U.S. Geological Survey says it had a magnitude of 2.9, but they don't measure the surprise people felt. The quake was centered about 1.25 miles west of Lake in the Hills.
Well, Rob and Marion, they're saying it sounded like an explosion, like a truck crash, like a train wreck. No one's first response was earthquake.
I heard like just one big loud boom. It wasn't a constant rumble.
But all of a sudden there was just this loud bang. We could feel it throughout the house. It felt like something really heavy was dropped outside almost, but then there was a rumble for about 10 seconds afterwards.
Have you ever experienced a quake before?
I actually was. I was in Laughlin, Nevada for a 7.2 at 2:51 in the morning, knocked me out of the bed. But this was a little bit different. That one was a real rumble. This one was like it had a punch.
The story you first saw here on Action News. Residents upset over dead fish found at a lake at Desert Shores.
And there's a lot of speculation amongst the residents as to what exactly is happening.
It's been almost a week since residents here at Desert Shores voiced their concerns about massive amounts of dead fish floating on their waters.
And it was really sad to see because you're seeing years worth of fish growth. And everyone does catch and release because they don't want to see them dying, you know. Plus there was like juveniles, so some of them had been bred here in the lake, I'm assuming. It's a real tragedy.
William and Lisa Mullins just moved here and take it personally.
And now to the state of emergency in Oklahoma tonight after an outbreak of deadly tornadoes. 160 reports of severe weather from Oklahoma to Arkansas to Missouri. The images tonight show the devastation in the heartland, one driver capturing the moment the tornado bears down.
It's hitting us.
Flashes of light as power lines are mowed down, tens of thousands without power this evening, pickup trucks flipped over.
Semi has overturned and also a pickup truck is on its hood, and this is all weather related.
At this gymnastics studio on the west side of Tulsa, firefighters rescuing more than 50 children and their instructors who took shelter inside, carrying them after the storm ripped through the building, destroying it. Fortunately, everyone made it out safely.
A violent spring storm targeted the plains.
It's a tornado on the ground.
Spinning several reported tornadoes from Tulsa through Oklahoma City, including reports of a twister in Moore, Oklahoma, the site of a deadly F5 tornado in 2013.
The powerful line of storms brought hail, heavy rains,
I'm going as fast as I can,
and ferocious winds, damaging dozens of homes and nearly wiping out this Sand Springs neighborhood.
The scale of the flooding has been difficult to believe. In southwestern Peru, it almost submerged this bridge. Further north, the rain brought down this landslide right in front of emergency workers. The country's president has declared a state of emergency here. With roads blocked, communities are cut off and supplies are running low.
The heaviest rain in 80 years is triggering deadly mudslides in South America. This is southern Peru near Chile. A river of mud ran through town yesterday with the power to wash away cars. At least 24 have died in what's supposed to be the driest time of year.
Further south in neighboring Chile, the rain is still causing trouble. Copiapó is the capital of the Atacama region, normally one of the driest places on Earth. It normally gets about 1 centimetre of rain a year. Not this year. It's taken the authorities completely by surprise.
Chilean authorities have declared a state of emergency in the worst affected areas.
Military helicopters and emergency crews were sent in to rescue people who had been left stranded by the flooding.
Almost 11,000 people have been affected and more than 4,500 are in shelters.
And to the north in Washington state tonight, a massive landslide outside Seattle. Homes teetering on the edge there. Several homes have already been evacuated there as well.
The homes are on top of a cliff which collapsed down to a state park beach. The people who lived in the homes were told to grab what they could and get out.
A tsunami alert has been sounded for the coast of Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands after a magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck off Papua New Guinea. And the U.S. Geological Survey, or the USGS, said that the earthquake epicenter was near the town of Rabaul in the northeast of the island country.
Now, Mexico's Colima volcano has sent a column of ash 3 kilometers into the air. There has been a recent increase in activity at the volcano, and authorities are maintaining a yellow alert for this area. And that means the volcano is showing activity, and that residents should be ready for a possible evacuation.
Deadly floods in India have taken the lives of at least 15 people. That area has seen 3 days of nonstop rain. Hundreds are now staying in relief centers and bracing for even more rain that is in the forecast for that part of the world.
Less than a year after Indian-controlled Kashmir was hit by the worst flooding ever, the region is facing yet another deluge.
State of emergency has been declared in Chuuk, which is the largest region in the Federated States of Micronesia, as residents appeal for help in the wake of Super Typhoon Maysak. 5 people were killed in Chuuk and houses and crops were destroyed as the Super Typhoon slowly made its way across the Micronesia archipelago. The eye of the storm passed over the Ulethia Atoll on Tuesday night, hitting it with a 260 km/h wind force. Only concrete structures have been left standing.
It's one of the worst die-offs of marine birds in history, and it's taking place along the west coast of the U.S. and Canada. Thousands of seabirds are dying, and scientists are trying to figure out why.
They're probably not finding food there or enough food, and that's causing some of the population to come closer to shore. And they're not finding food there, obviously, because they're dying and washing ashore.
Fish, birds, and sea stars have been dying off in record numbers. In January, U.S. scientists published a study blaming disease for just over a quarter of the mass die-offs. Human actions like pollution caused 19%, and climate-related events factored into another 25%.
Hurricane-force winds have battered parts of northern Europe, leaving at least 5 people dead in weather-related incidents. In Germany, 2 forestry workers died when their vehicle was crushed by a falling tree. Another person was killed when a stone wall fell on him.
Winds reached up to 118 miles per hour in some mountain areas of Germany and caused 150 flights at Frankfurt Airport to be cancelled.
And in the Czech Republic, these strong winds brought with them heavy snow and freezing temperatures, causing many road accidents and leaving locals struggling to cope with the unseasonable weather.
The storm Nicholas is considered one of the most powerful storms to hit the regions in several years.
This is not an April Fool's joke. The state of California is almost out of water. In fact, it has only 1 year of its water supply left. Things are so bad that Governor Jerry Brown took the unprecedented step today of ordering his state's water use slashed by 25%, the first time in history that mandatory water restrictions have been set in the state of California. Governor Brown's announcement was made from the Sierra Nevada mountains. Those were in the backdrop, as we learned that snowpack levels there are now the lowest in recorded history. The drought California is experiencing is the worst in at least 1,200 years. It is so bad that the Earth's surface has quite literally risen. Less water in the landmass, lighter landmass. Today, the biggest April Fool's joke is on anyone who doubts that the Earth is changing, and not for the better.
Residents are no strangers to disturbances, but a recent phenomenon has them baffled and concerned. Loud booming sounds have been happening at night, and police have few leads.
And Kristen, it's a puzzling situation happening mostly here in Berkeley. While it was causing a lot of speculation at first, neighbors now say they just want the noise to stop. It's been about a month, and there seems to be no end to the disturbance.
Saudi Arabia's capital Riyadh and its surrounding areas are engulfed by the most severe sandstorms in recent years.
A major sandstorm pounded Dubai on Thursday morning, leading to the city being covered in a veil of orange.
Good evening. With a brutal winter barely behind us, tornado season is quickly firing up, with several states on alert right now for severe weather. This on the heels of last night's violent storms that triggered massive flooding, especially in Kentucky, where a mother and child were swept away in their car and remain missing. Right now, firefighters in Louisville are still wrestling with this massive industrial fire that may have been sparked by lightning.
Overnight, more than 30 million Americans dealing with a deadly string of storms. Tornado warning sirens sounding the alarms as hail, torrential rains, and wind up to 68 miles per hour battered Tennessee, causing power outages in thousands of homes and reports of dime-sized hail in Georgia. In Kentucky Friday, roads collapsing as rushing waters tear through neighborhoods. One woman dead after floodwaters swept her car off the road.
And to some frightening moments in the skies over Seattle. 2 separate planes struck by lightning as they tried to land during severe weather.
They are striking pictures. Not just one, but 2 jets hit by lightning over Seattle. Last night's storm around the airport hit the jets as they were preparing to land. Jets are designed to take a lightning strike. Testing in a lab, these Boeing engineers make sure the electricity flow is outside the jetliner, never entering the cabin.
Los Angeles' Griffith Observatory captured this stunning time-lapse footage of a total lunar eclipse that took place in the early hours of Saturday morning. As the moon passed into the Earth's shadow, it turned a sort of burnt orange in colour, which has earned the celestial event the nickname of a blood moon.
Tonight, rescue teams are wrapping up the search for survivors of a tornado that devastated a small Illinois town, one of at least 2 to be hit in the area last evening. 2 women in their late 60s were killed in Fairdale, about 80 miles west of Chicago.
Going right over that bridge.
The half-mile-wide tornado violently made its way across northern Illinois.
He's over!
Taking out this semi.
Call 911! Go! Go!
Sirens filled the air as it moved, darkening the sky and closing in on homes.
That's going through subdivisions.
This is what it left behind. 50 miles of devastation, leveled houses, buried cars, and enormous debris fields.
The tornado's path of destruction was clear. Homes flattened, woods splintered and piled like matchsticks as far as the eye could see in the tiny farming town of Fairdale.
Tornado on the ground.
Overnight wild weather across much of the country.
Look at that.
Funnel clouds forming across the heartland.
Another one coming down there.
A rainbow appearing in the midst of this tornado. In Kansas, hail hammering drivers so hard, this storm chaser windshield shatters as they battle the elements. This morning in North Carolina, they're cleaning up after hail cracked windows and damaged cars. In Potosi, Missouri,
it hit the transformer. There was like sparks. I like screamed.
Trees down, roofs damaged, and reports of a possible tornado after a storm rolled through here.
I was like freaking out because I saw a cloud going down in circles. So then I
started getting down real low and then started tucking my head.
75-mile-per-hour winds ripping trees from the ground in Ohio.
As you can tell, they're not small trees.
In Idaho, roads in need of a good plow after nearly 6 inches of hail hit the ground. Drivers of cars and buses caught off guard. The St. Louis skyline lit up with lightning. This bolt getting dangerously close to planes.
Look at all that garbage. Shit!